All right, and we are live with another installment of the Authority Hour, where we got a revamped mission set to chronicle the foundation of a media and marketing company, otherwise known as Freedom Marketing Group. And the Freedom Media Group is the parent umbrella for the Authority Hour. So as we're using the Authority Hour as a platform to build our respective brands and our authority as a brand, our credibility, which are all components in conducting business, there's a larger strategy. And that larger strategy is to be able to cut through the noise that so many small business owners have to deal with when it comes to having effective marketing. Because a lot of marketing companies are more about the hourly rate than the delivered value. So
Fellas,
Freedom Media Group will bridge that gap, as well as serving as a platform for other podcasts to be formed and grow within a structured infrastructure. So, as we're again going through these conversations on the Authority Hour, it's all leading toward that bigger picture. Now, Ronnie, one of the things that you had mentioned, because we were talking about Go High Level, and Go High Level obviously is one of those platforms that give it, like, it's great for establishing structured systems and processes relative to the whole marketing side. What have been some of your latest discoveries in that? Because like you literally jumped in with both feet.
Oh, thank you. I find I'm like 3 days in, so I really haven't, I don't know what I don't know. So like what I'm thinking is, so far, I'll give you an example. I get a lot of comments or whatever on different omni channel. They call it omni channel, like something they can watch comments on multiple channels, like mini chat. You've heard of mini chat.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This thing operates very similar, so it'll grab that message and respond or whatever. And it also has conversational AI, so you can basically having conversations with people with your brand voice. I find that it's going to be pretty interesting as a forward-facing aspect of my business versus what I currently use as HubSpot. They can both work. The goal is to get them to work together, because HubSpot does some things by itself that they're really good at, and then but High Level has its own beast of what it can do.
Right. No, like I was telling you in pre-production, the white labeling piece, and honestly, that's the beauty of this being this podcast, because initially the whole white labeling idea was going to be a bullseye consulting thing, but as we're building out this, it almost makes more sense rather, to structure it so that the agency is the Freedom Media Group agency that takes what gets built, and that can basically be white labeled.
Cool.
Yeah.
How you doing, Earl?
my brother, I'm having a great day.
Yeah.
Today was powerful.
Nice, man.
How are you?
Tell us about it?
Yeah, most definitely. So today I've been rounding up. I kind of alluded to on the asset class with Jesse. I just started intake with a client where he's positioned to, he's probably going to make about $360 million over the next 2 to 3 years. So, I'm working as the coordinator for his fractional family office. So they started off with tax strategy, but now also like his investment strategy, estate planning, and all the things of that nature. So it's awesome when you're just working with people that just get it. They get what you do, they get the value of it, and they're hungry to learn. And it makes me really excited to be here on the Authority Hour, because taking up my real estate in this digital world so that I can help more people like that, of course, they don't have to be that large for me to help them. But for me to help the people that believe what I believe, instead of trying to help these people that are dedicated hustlers for life, they're never going to have systems. They're never going to have a SOP, because that's not what hustlers do. I'm washing my hands of those folks. I'm just looking for people looking for me.
I mean, you would think that if they're going to generate 360 million in revenue.
So that's his net.
Wow. So 360 million in profit over the next 3 years. I wouldn't think you might need to it doesn't sound like you're going to need another client at all.
I don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 years with AI, with Web3, with so many things. So I need 10 more clients just like this, just to be safe.
I mean, I like that answer, man. That's great. Like, never stop, right? It would cost a lot to get them to be the only client, right?
Well, it might cost me a lot if I was, exclusive to them.
No, what I'm saying is it would have to be a big ass number. Like, we're gonna lock you up for 3 years.
Oh, right. Yeah. It would have to be extraordinary.
10x. Yeah.
Yeah, get that grant card going. It's 10x. Come on, man.
That's cool.
Yeah, that would definitely have to be a number. So I'm on fire, man. I love when I feel like I'm tapped in with purpose, and it's reflecting in the practice, in the work. Like Jesse says it every day. He's like, bro, this ain't no work, but I work hard every day. This ain't work to me, so I'm having a Jesse day. I'm locked in.
All right, well, hold up. Oh, let's give it a Mark 360 client, locked and loaded. Congratulations, my brother.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah,
right.
bro.
What else you want to talk about, Jesse?
So, speaking about, again, because this is all about Freedom Media Group. So on the marketing side, because we've been talking about putting out content with the intent of reaching an audience. Well, how about talking about the audience that gets built through a podcast and how that creates opportunity to have your own internal marketing opportunity, right? Because what we're talking about doing here is, as the Authority Hour continues to build, as the asset class continues to build audience, we then are in the position to insert ads, our own ads, into our podcast. And those ads will be from relationships that we generate and cultivate.
Okay.
Right. So when you think about that as a concept, Ronnie, what does that look like in execution? Where does your mind go in that? This is just brainstorming. Ain't no wrong answer.
I mean, when I first hear something like that, my initial thought is, that's great once it's built. I have, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, yeah, okay, cool. I also wonder, like, how do we learn that aspect of it? Because I don't know what I don't know. All I know is that if you can monetize your YouTube channel or your Facebook channel, Instagram, then they dictate who the commercials go to, from what I know, which is nothing. So it's so far out of my area of expertise that I'm here to learn. So if you've got information to tell me like, okay, these are the commercials we're going to put in and this is how we're going to do it and here's how we're going to charge, it'll be the first time I've heard anything about it.
And that, again, from my vantage point, that's what the authority hour is now. We talk through these strategies.
Yeah.
They become our plans that we then execute. And our audience gets to see what we build collectively.
Okay.
From ideation to execution.
Roger
and
that.
growth. Right?
Bro, I love that. You know, on the asset class, I go crazy when we start talking about vertical integration. It is my drug of choice. Let's take a business that works, that we have mastery of, that is something that's going to be around for the next 5 to 10 years. And let's fold in other products or services that are in our channel so we can take a client through a journey of multiple products or services while being in our same business. When I was in business school, they always tried to make it seem like the wealthiest people in the world, they have 13 businesses or 7 businesses, depending on which book you read, when really it's one business with 7 income streams. So when I think about what he just said with us marketing ourselves, and we're creating a media company around the media that we're using to make us the authorities in our own expertises, because we are all experts. We're all in what we do individually. You know, we're some of the best guys in the country to do what we do. So it's making sure that we give ourselves the proper opportunities strategically to showcase that. And I can already say from the asset class that I've got probably 5 or 6 opportunities because I had a conversation with someone and, you know, I branded myself the right way with tax erasers, where I went and I had to get that TM. I trademarked it before I made any posts. So I bought a bunch of domains, and when they went and looked me up, what they saw was the scripting of Jesse and I talking and other podcasts that I've been on. So like, oh, snap, I looked you up. Dude, you're talking about business with all these business owners. You're throwing out really good strategies. And the AI would have threw out is Earl Hardin is one of the most creative guys in financial services, where he takes his experience from banking, lending, as well as asset protection and tax mastery, and he folds them all together to give his client the best of all worlds. So the person read that based on the scripting that came off of what we talk about at the asset class. And this client happened to read that because it was easy to find me. I was like, yeah, here's my card, tax erasers. I had tax erasers shirt on. He put in Earl Hardin tax erasers, and that what came up. So I'm excited to see where this continues to evolve.
Nice. Good take.
And the reality is it evolves to where we take it. Period. Right? I don't pretend to have all of the answers. And I am confident in saying that applies to all 3 of us. So in that, what it boils down to is, you know, I know that, Ronnie, you have years of lived experience in this, of building a brand online and offline. But, you know, speaking specifically to online, you have seen the things that work. You have seen the things that were just like, right? Like you've had a mixed bag of experiences. So from those mixed bags of experiences is a lot of invaluable tribal knowledge that helps to serve as the foundation for the strategies that we execute under Freedom Media Group.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that.
What do you think about that?
I mean, yeah, I got my life journey is all an experience, man. I don't know if it's the right thing or the wrong thing. It's just like, all right. I think I just try to stay open-minded, not easily persuaded.
Hey,
That's what.
bro, when the last time you been to your whole building?
Right. I was there today,
Come
but
on, man.
what got us there won't get us to the next level.
All that I'm saying, bro, is when it comes to building a brand and marketing that brand, men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
I get it.
Buildings speak volumes.
I think if I could go back 20 years, though, there's multiple things I would have changed that would have got me there faster if I just would have listened. That's all I'm saying. Like, yeah, I understand. Like, there was a time you couldn't tell me a single thing because
Can you speak to some of those things?
Huh?
Can you speak to some of those things where you hitting the reset button? What would you do differently? And then how can you tie that into this digital world and what we're building right now?
I act on it. So like I hired Chris Gosnell today. She's going to do monthly work for me as far as content production. I have a certain pain point for, let's just call it being held accountable to get the video production done at the level that I want to get it done at. And so I recognize it's a pain point, and that pain point is going to cost me money. So what does it take to get that pain point resolved? Hire Chris Gosnell. So what that means 15, 20 years ago, Earl, is, it depends on what room you're in and who's talking to you. So I would have been, no, we can do it cheaper, or we don't need to do that, and sometimes that answer is still going to win because you just can't afford it. But I'm acting on that right now, trying to change something to get me more accountable to producing this information on a weekly basis. And so,
that's
Earl,
dope, because you put out such good content, bro. I would love to see more of it. It's great. The way when you pop up on my screen, I'm like, man, folks have no idea that he's figuring this stuff out because you look like a pro. It's a great message.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm the most novice guy on that video crap. But the thing is, though, one of the hardcore things about building a business, like whether it be a digital brand or whatever we're doing, is if I could go back 20 years, I would have hired more people a lot sooner. I was afraid to hire people because I was afraid I couldn't provide for them, or I couldn't get them to their dreams. I probably would have just given it more thought or talked to somebody that was like, hey, look, you need to hire. I had other people in my head that were further along than me that were telling me to hire, and that they said I could only do so much by myself. I remember doing 30 cars by myself in a month, and it's all great to look at the numbers, but when you don't have any air left in your system, I got a huge energy, or used to have a huge amount of energy that I could expend putting into my business. But looking back, dude, if I would have hired, that's one thing. And then the other thing would be social media. Like it started in 2009. Like I didn't get in there until 10 years later, because I was so focused on shaking hands with people and going to networking events. And I believe that they both should have been going on at the same time. Like, everybody that I implore to get online and do what we're doing is the first thing, like, get over yourself. You're not a special snowflake, let's go. It's time to produce stuff and become an expert. So those two things, hiring and being more not worried about what the world thinks, would have been two major things I would have changed right away. Like, I don't even think, if you're talking to me about starting a business and you're sitting there like, I don't want to have a digital footprint, I just kind of want to stay low key. I'm like, are you a drug dealer? Like, are you like, weed is legal. Like, what you selling? All right. So if you're selling crack, I'm like, that's one. I can't help you with your business. But like any other business, can you name one that would be like, we don't need a social branding aspect? I don't subscribe to
one
that.
that doesn't want to survive. Yeah, that's it.
Or some of them are really held accountable. Like if Earl, the financial planning companies are really strict on people as far as what they put as a forward-facing thing on the internet. I've heard these things. I've seen people work through that. Everything has to be approved by corporate. That's one thing. But if you're a personal brand building your personal business, I'm like, you got to be on social media, dude. That's it.
That's real, bro. That's some bars, man. And I really resonate with that because at some point, like on the asset class, we were talking about what's bigger, your ego or your paycheck. And there was a point where my ego was way bigger than my paycheck, brother. And I remember because I had came up where I would have a small business on the side and I would have a sales job. And that's pretty much what I was doing when I was in my undergrad for business. So in that corporate job where I'm doing the sales, I'm selling something where I don't have equity in the company. I would always have beef with two parties. One party was called marketing and the other party was called underwriting. Because they were always jacking my deals up. Or if I had inbound calls, you know, somebody's like, hey, I'm trying to get that cable deal for $19.99. And I'm like, I know what's on that flyer, but the way it's represented and the way most Americans read at a third grade level, this dude really thought he was going to get TV, internet, home phone, home security for $19.99 instead of reading, you know, just the phone portion is that. So like the battle that I have to go through with these individuals, it put me in a position where I felt like marketing was my antagonist. So I didn't want to learn anything about it. So I wanted to be successful in spite of marketing. So I did a lot of, when I started selling my own stuff, where it was, you know, direct. I was like, I'm going to do direct sales. I know how to network and I know how to go through networks where I'll just go out and I'll get 10 phone numbers every single day. And I'll use the law of large numbers. And once I get a couple good key people, I'll work myself through their network, get another 100 contacts, get another 20 contacts. And it was almost to spite the folks that were telling me that I needed to do things digitally, that I needed to learn marketing, that I needed to learn the internet. I was like, look at me, I'm winning, when I was so dumb because I could have did both. And probably another third thing that I still don't know about.
Yeah. Yeah, that word "and" is powerful.
100%. Oh, man. So I'm going to pose this question to the both of you, but to you first, Ronnie.
Okay.
So if a podcast approached you to for a ad spot and they told you that they were going to put your ad in front of an audience of this amount for this amount of dollars, what would that audience number need to be in order for you to entertain that?
I think the right answer is I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure I even would have thought of that question about the audience number, you know, so.
But in order for it to be worth your consideration, how many sets of eyeballs would need to be able to see you before you are thinking about putting some money behind putting yourself in front of those eyeballs?
I honestly don't know. I mean, I think I would seek counsel to see what would make sense. Like, how many people are actually viewing it? What's the click-through rate? They have this thing called CTR. They have all of these different algorithmic things that I'm sure that somebody smarter than me in that space would be able to tell me this is what I should be looking at. And then, so there you go, right? So as a marketer approaching me with that, if they asked me that question, it would probably low-key offend me. Because I don't ask you that. You know, like in my business, I'm the expert. I'm like, Jesse, this is what you're going to need in order for your family to be safe and secure and buttoned up. So why are you asking me? You know, so Unless I had that data and a marketing staff that could give me that information, I would be feeling like I'm number one. I'm just wildly guessing or saying a number to impress you. Like I was like, well, how many people are in Colorado Springs? 700,000. I'm like, all right, y'all got 750,000 eyeballs every day, all day a week between 8 and 5. I'm interested. Like I don't know. We also have heard things that there are influencers out there that have 1,000 or less than 10,000 followers, less than 1,000. That are getting contacted by Ford and Chevy and other things like that because they're called micro influencers. And so they're finding that those influencers really have a following. They got 1,000 loyal people that do everything they say. So another interesting aspect, it might not need to be as many as people think. But I would not know how to answer your question. Forgive me, but that's my answer. I don't know what the answer to that is, my man.
I love it. I love it. Earl, what's your read on that?
I would think that if we are talking about getting in front of qualified folks, so not just anybody, because my services have to go primarily B2B. It's some stuff I could do for people that have W-2, but I focus on working with businesses just like yourself. So if we're talking about a number of qualified individuals, I'm going to be looking at the cost, per view, and then those conversions down from there. Because I know with the services that I offer and the way I execute it, just get in front of most business owners and having a brief conversation, or digitally having a brief conversation, asking them, hey, when was the last time your tax pro came to you with an idea to make money? Never? One more question for you. How well do they understand your business, your personal, your investment, and your estate planning goals? About your legacy? They don't understand that either. So you mean the person you're paying to be your tax pro doesn't bring you new ideas to make or save money, and they don't understand these things? Sounds like you've outgrown them. Let's set a discovery call. And it's usually that simple, whether it is a video of me saying that or it's me saying that in person. I'm working on the digital authority. So I would think I would have a higher than normal conversion rate compared to a lot of different things, just because the way that I package this. And for them to, the hot topic for a lot of business owners is having a family office or having a micro family office. So hey, I'll deliver on that. Can you deliver? Are you challenging me, a business owner? You know how much audacity I have? Let's talk.
Okay, sweet.
Jesse, what about you? I know you have your numbers so dialed in. How many business owners need to see what you offer, what you package for it to be worthwhile?
Well, I'll start with the point that you made as far as if the audience is actually qualified or not, right? Like that part definitely matters.
Yeah.
And then the next part of that is what kind of stuff do y'all talk about in the show? Because I don't necessarily want you putting my ad in between.
That's a great point.
So I need to know what y'all talking about. You know what I'm saying, to make sure that it's a good fit. But if the content is a good fit and the audience are like qualified leads for what it is that I do, you put me in front of 50 of them, I'm gonna put some bread up.
All right.
I'm gonna put some money up, because like when we break down the value of one person converting, right? I know the lifetime value of one of those qualified leads converting into a client. So from understanding that lifetime value, I then can assign a value to the acquisition cost for that lead. And as long as the investment to be in front of those 50 is going to come back in a significant way when I calculate the lifetime value of what that person is going to spend with me, what that business is going to spend with me, rather. Yeah, you put me in front of 50 and y'all talking about the right shit.
That was good feedback. Like, what's the content about? I like that.
Yeah, that's wise, because you don't want to have your message just getting spewed out anywhere to just anybody, because that's going to affect your branding as well where you pop up. That's a great point. Like, I probably, even though it'll be fun, probably not going to go on Tyrone Bigham's podcast. Probably not going to do it. Would it be funny? Yeah. Would it be a great business decision? Probably not.
Depends on which skit he's doing.
Tyrone got clean and he has an enterprise. All right, I might be on that episode.
Yeah. True.
Now, the reason that I asked that question is because that, from the high level, brings us back down to the grassroots of when we establish goals like how many followers that we want to have by a certain time period based on the content. All of that gets derived from that point. Like, what do we deem as a credible audience? And because, like, when I think about Ronnie, you're not familiar with Earn Your Leisure, are you? I know we spoke about him before, but
I've listened to a few of their podcasts, but I'm not like consuming their content. I have mad respect for them, but I'm not consuming their content.
Right. Now, the value of their audience is invaluable, right? Like, you can't really, I mean, you can put a price tag on it, but it's a high one because the people that subscribe to their content generally have a common thread of wanting to build generational wealth through some form or fashion. And it takes a different mindset just to have that as an aspiration to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's the majority of their audience. So, you know, if I'm calculating how much that it would cost to be on an Earn Your Leisure episode, because their audience has been formulated to value. It's a lot of folks that get distracted from value by price. So again, like, I say that to say the audience that we're building, we're not building an audience. It's going to take us longer to build our audience, just like it took them longer to build theirs. Well, that they had like a spark in the pan. That the pandemic being what the pandemic was, and people being locked in and looking for self-improvement and nothing else to do. You know what I mean? Like they really, that benefited them greatly, for sure.
That's how I ended up binge watching them. I was in the crib, I wasn't going out, and I decided when lockdown happened that I wasn't going to drink, because I saw people through social media like drinking themselves silly. So I was like, I'm not going to drink during lockdown. I'm just going to lock in, and I'm going to make sure that I come out of this better than I came into this, because that was the last time I had a job. Because I was working at California Casualty, and it was an interesting thing. It was like on a Tuesday, get an award for being one of the best producers in the country. On Friday, they laid me off. They let me go. And I just kind of decided in that point in time that I wanted to build something and that I was never going to get pimped again.
Get laid off.
I'm not going to make anybody else millions unless it's one of my clients, and they're going to pay me accordingly.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So again, like, taking the high level question of what would be an attractive audience number to be willing to make that investment, to when we think about building our audience and the quality of our audience, because the quality of our audience impacts the value of our audience. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think that. So what? I don't understand the question.
So it's the point that I'm making is, because again, when we talk, the authority hour from my perspective is us talking through, strategizing through, turning this idea into a reality. And how do you make such a vast vision reality? Well, you got to break that bad boy down into chunks, into digestible chunks, for one, so that it makes sense. But then most importantly, then a game plan can be put together that can be executed, or that
Where do you
will
think
be.
we should start?
What's that?
Where do you think we should start?
Well, it's through talking about these logistical pieces, because then when we decide on the actual starting point, like this is what we want to do to start, how we measure the success of that start comes from this conversation that we're having right now. Because we know that the end goal, if let's say that our consensus was what I said, which is if it's a qualified room of 50 business owners that are serious about advancing, like developing themselves and growing generational wealth. Well, that value proposition is different than someone just saying, I'm gonna put you in front of 50 people. So,
well, don't you think you can dictate that though with the content that's produced? Well, how would you ever know what each subscriber had or didn't have? I mean, I think you can walk people through a series of questions to join like the group. Like once they subscribe, you can move into a subscribed area where you can have some qualifications to be in that other room. But like, if somebody's going to have to throw a number out. Like, what number are you seeking of followers?
Right. No, that's actually a great point. So as we're thinking about building the audiences, because we've spoken about resources like Substack and all of the things, the point that, because the point that you made, someone that is a common observer versus someone that is actually gonna put action into place based on the information that's being conveyed are two different things. So to really build our audience and to know that they actually qualify as the an active and engaged audience that meets value with whatever compensation that it takes to be able to leverage that value. Does what I'm saying make sense to you, Ronnie?
I wish it did. So I look at very well articulated, but I'm like, if I'm in the boardroom right now, I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know what he's talking about right now. The way I see social media being built is like we put out like, I think we got to get better. If I was starting out with this group to build something, I'm like, all right, guys, show up at 7:45. Let's get the thing started. We're done at 8. Like, that's the first place I start. The second place is like putting out content and then making offers. Like, what kind of offers are we bringing out? Essence is in the room. This is the lady that wants to meet you.
Yeah. What's happening? Let me get.
She's supposed to send me her contact info. She's watching. You haven't done it. Let me see if she texts me. Uh-oh, I stand corrected. I have been texted. Thank you, Essence. I got her info. I lock her on the phone. She wants to talk to you. So what I'm saying is this, dude. Like, I think a lot of people sit in the boardrooms dreaming up what they want their audience to look like. I don't know if we're going to have a paywall for people to be like, you got to pay. You got to be making $1 million before you can come and watch this YouTube channel. I think you could get there. But I think in the beginning, it's like if you're saying the same message over and over again, I try to take stuff I know works on the street and then try to put it into a digital format. If I'm in a B&I group and I'm telling you I only handle cars that are 35 grand plus, lots of leasing, high credit over 720, my typical A client, right? At some point in time, you have no choice but to believe me, because that's what I'm telling you over and over and over again. So when we're putting out content like that, it kind of dictates to the audience if they choose to watch it or not. And they have now all of these algorithms are what they call interest level. It's a word for it. It's an interest. This stuff gets shown to people with the same interest. That's why earned leisure keeps going up, because everybody that's interested in it, they come in and then they either tune in and they engage or they don't. And so I don't know if you can dictate not who's following. I think you can dictate who joins the group, who subscribes to, and like, you ever been on one of those YouTube channels that like join now for my insider content or whatever?
Yep.
That's a completely different animal than building 100,000. I think the first goal is 100,000 followers, right? We get 100,000. We get it. Why? Because we get a YouTube button.
Right. And that's more or less.
My brother's earned one. He's got one hanging up on the wall. He's got 150,000 subscribers. It's the first bar, right? So the bar's lower though. The first bar is 1,000 followers and 4,000 watch hours. That's how you dictate what's working. 1,000 followers, 4,000 watch hours. That's right. Dictating how you monetize the channel.
So the intent of my diatribe of words was to
I like that he understands it. Let's give him applause, damn it. Like, he's the smartest guy in the room. We know it. We're trying to catch up. Hold up.
Oh man. But
Earl no, like to me.
No, but seriously though, is the measurement of our audience growth determined more so through the audience that we build off of the social media platforms than on it?
Look at what Essence said.
Isn't there a percentage based off how many followers you have? Based off of your follow count. Percentage based off of, yeah, I mean, there can be percentages created for absolutely.
It's a law of large numbers, right?
Yeah.
You get 1 million followers, you got 100,000 people buying stuff. I don't know.
Right. Maybe. I don't know, man. I talked to I used to be in a ton of mentorships. Now I'm just in 2 really, really good ones. I used to be in like 12. I guess technically I'm in 3 because 1 I don't pay for. I've helped people get in contact with this estate planner and whatnot. But, it's interesting. Some of the people in my mentorship, I'll see where they have crazy followings. Like one of the gals, she has her own company. She does credit repair. And we should say credit optimization because it's illegal to say credit repair in certain states. She does credit optimization. And she has, I want to say, 150,000 followers on Facebook. However, if you go look at her content, it's rarely more than 20 reactions. So she's amassed this following, but they're not really connected to what she's putting out. And like when I look at my own following, I probably have 20,000 followers on all of my socials. And close to 10,000 on Facebook. And it's grown by maybe 4,000 over the last couple of years. It's been interesting to be on that journey to see the incentives that they put in there. Now they just tell you. Like, you used to have to guess, you'd have to watch a YouTube channel or you'd have to watch a certain person that had the information that was leaking what they wanted you to do. Now they just tell you, hey, do this. Make this many posts, get this many likes, and then we will allow our algorithm to open things up for you. And this many more of your followers will be able to see your content. Because it's kind of like they got to a point where you have the people that are like the Kim Kardashians of the world. And I have a friend that works pretty high up in YouTube. He does a lot of, Mike. You remember Mike Jesse?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep. He's pretty high up there, and he works with several multi-million-dollar brands. We're talking about 10, $20 million, 20 million followers per brand. And these social media companies hit a point where they realize, dang, Kim Kardashian has 100 million followers. If we let her directly market to all of her followers, she has more market share than companies do at the Super Bowl. We got to change these algorithms, and we got to change it so they're incentivized to do what we want to build our brand, and let's put a model in there so we get paid, where, it's $500 a month to be in that space on Facebook, and then you have to go do it again on Instagram, where you get more support, you get to talk to a person, because, man, they snatch my account every other month. I'm always in Facebook jail for no reason. Picture of a pelican, Facebook jail. Like, dang, I can't be fly? I can't be fly?
Wow.
So with that, in my personal journey, it's been interesting to follow what they outlay for you and to see what you get back. So I've followed what they've said, and I've grown by almost 4,000 on Facebook. So now I'm learning how to do it on Instagram and YouTube, and learning how, I even hate to say it, TikTok interacts with that, where you can get a following very quickly on TikTok, but people may or may not buy things from there, but you use it as a tool to kick that following over to YouTube and get your long form where people really get to know you. So it's interesting, man, to see how all this stuff works. For someone who is, I'm just like Ronnie, I'm shaking a lot of hands, kissing a lot of babies, doing a great job with one person and getting some referrals.
It says 3 to 10% in AI when I put it in there. It says engagement rate based on people reached, 3 to 10% is good. So if you get 100,000 people, 3 to 10%.
Ronnie, are you on TikTok?
Yes, sir. Ronnie Haskins.
Now, how's your engagement on TikTok?
I mean, it's a constant stream of comments on this or that or whatever. And I've tested out one of the TikTok promote. I spent like $50 and it reached, man, it was like 500 comments on a 3-minute video. So, I mean, I believe that's where I believe it's going. It's like, if we don't get this thing running at a high level quickly, we're going to have to pay to do it. Because I think that we're getting to the aspect and the area where the big companies are understanding what Earl was talking about. Like, they know, but they really like doing it the old way, just guessing, because people still spend money on pie in the sky. Blue sky, they'll pay for blue sky, but like TikTok can tell you, like, if you give me $50, you're going to get 500 comments. And I was like, really? I pushed the button, and yeah, within 12 hours, it was completely done. I have no idea how they did that, man. But
because of the plug.
Talking about comments, like not likes, not clicking. People type something in 500 times in 12 hours. It was like, good Lord.
The plug is the plug, man.
So, like, that's another thing, Earl. The third thing I would say, 20 years ago, I would have had a marketing budget. I would have had a marketing budget. If I could start over, go back 20 years, I would have, from the beginning, had a marketing budget that I adhered to on the daily. I was raised from the dirt, which is, everybody likes talking about that. But, if I could go back, I would have spent 30 grand a year blowing up.
Yeah.
Bro, that's how wealth is made. It's crazy. Like, I know you had a lot of tutelage under Patrick Bet Davis, and I've had a lot of tutelage under one of his buddies he's made a whole bunch of money just like him. The guy that mentors me from time to time. You know, he's worth like $800 million. I get 15 minutes of his time once a year.
That's
And
good.
normally, if I earn it, like I gotta, you know, do X, Y, and Z. And the first thing he's gonna say, he's gonna ask me how the family is, and then he's gonna say, "Hey, what'd you do with the information I gave you last time we talked last year?" And I'm like, "Oh, I did this and this and this. Now I'm here. If I don't get that, there's no information in this 15-minute talk. We're going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys, which I don't care about at all." But he's always talking about scaling bigger. And he's like, you got to get out of the mindset of maximizing your return. He's like, you can go out and you can spend $500 on advertisements and you end up doing a tax plan and you write a policy and you're up 10 grand. Cool. You made 10 grand off of 500. He's like, but I will spend $1 million to make 2 million. Now, are those percentages the same? No, but I made 2 million and you took your 10 grand. So it's,
I mean, to get 2 is 100% return, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's strong. Anybody in marketing would say that's strong. I don't know what the actual average return is. 2%? You know, like, I don't know.
Like on the financial services side of my business, depending on the lead type, it's a 7X. It's normally a 7X. If you're really cold with it, you could get like a 10 to 12X off of your money. And I feel like that's where I've been spending a lot of money this year, is also learning these different lead flows, different lead types, where they change things up, kind of like what you were alluding to, Ronnie, where you're saying, hey, what can I put in the messaging to gatekeep, to keep some folks out? I shouldn't say gatekeep, but to make a criteria for you to want to cross this bridge.
I think Jesse is onto that too, because he said it's fine if you have a lot of people consuming the content. There's nothing wrong with that. They can become ambassadors for the channel. They can do that. But I mean, there's stuff that I look at that I'm never going to buy, but I'm entertained. Like, these things can be entertaining and educational. So, but Jesse has said that before, like, they're going to have ways that they can consume the content, but they may not be. I mean, I guess we're talking about two different things: an engaged client versus an actual client, like, or engaged person versus a client. Like, I don't even know how you separate those.
And that's the question that I'm asking when it comes to the audience that we're building for the Authority Hour and the asset class, respectively, because both of those are under the Freedom Media Group umbrella, which are basically the templated formats for how we'll service other podcasts in the future. So my question is, does it make sense for our call to action, basically for all of our conversations, to join our private group that we develop, rather that be on Substack or School or what have you? Because the amount of followers on the social media platform says nothing about the quality of those followers. Like, if it's a bunch of people that's just watching to be watching versus if they're watching to learn and execute. Like, the separation between that is if they've made a conscious decision to move their support off of social media onto the private platform, whichever one that we may choose. What are y'all thoughts on that?
I think it's a great thought. I would like it to be fully formed out and ready to go. I mean, that you're talking about asking people to join a room that we plan on delivering so much value that they want to stay in that room for 10 years.
Right.
You know, yeah, I'm down for it. I just think we got to build it out. Like, this, what we're doing right now, is painstaking for me. Essence had some things. I'm not saying that I don't want to do it. I'm just saying that talking about it is great. Like, you learned about me, I'm implementing right away, and sometimes to a fault. So great, I'm down. When are we going to do episode 1 on, hey, this is what we're bringing to y'all today? What value are we dropping today that we're planning on actually implementing for the next week and the next week, or series that we're going to do? Like, all right, everybody's going to work on this to get this built out so that we can be ready to talk about our wins, our losses, and what we learn from that whole aspect of it. Like for the business owner, like Essence right now, this is one of the youngest followers we've got.
Mm-hmm.
And she's on here because she wants to learn from these elder statesmen in the room. And it's like, all right, what kind of value can we deliver to her tonight? Just like get her going. She's got 19,000 people on TikTok. She's like, she already understands it's not just about the followers, you know, she understands. So she's in a unique spot too, because of TikTok Shop, man. Like TikTok Shop is a beast. I don't think I can do it with cars. Like click the button and get your 50 grand car. Like, but man, the business she's in, I feel like TikTok Shop could push it way over the edge. Like people click those deals and you just got to fulfill them. I don't know.
But would that be for product more so?
Well, service? That's what I've seen. It's like people buying pants and shirts and whatnot, but like, I don't know. That's the question. I don't know. You know, I'm hesitant to say no until I flesh it. I haven't looked into it to see exactly what you can produce on there as far as getting people to click your deal, you know, but
all right,
there's people on there selling hair products and all kinds of stuff.
Right. So Ronnie, one of the things that I wanted to circle back on that you said was like this process is driving you crazy because you rather execute. This is the brainstorming piece that gets to the game plan that we actually execute. So on the other side of that statement that you made, as far as like that's what's driving me crazy, you also said you know, scheduling the episode where we're talking about what that value is. Well, why don't we make that an agenda item or the agenda item for next week's episode to say what types of value maintains the integrity of what it is that we're building while also providing so much value to an audience that they would want to be a part of it.
That actually, you couldn't have said it any better. I hope we recorded it so we could go put it right in the flow chart and make it executable, because you know, I think that, you know, we got another killer in the room now. We got Earl. Let's say we have so much horsepower and effort, and you know, everybody's got a little bit of energy to give to this thing. So if we can stick to that and be ready to deliver that next week, I think it'd be fascinating. Like we need to have a vision. Like what's our vision for this channel? And then what you just said, like what do we think we should be delivering as our value proposition to everybody that's paying attention? What do you think, Earl?
Yeah, I think that would be dope. I really, really like that. For us to collectively start working and building things so we can implement things, so we have data to have feedback on, and then from there we can shift things. So I'm all about it. And I think it would be powerful for us to also, because we are in a very unique spot where with this here podcast, the Authority Hour, we get to share our businesses with people that don't normally see our stuff. Like all my followers get to see what you guys do, and they absolutely need your services. So I would love that as well. Because why would we get on anything digitally if we weren't going to talk about what we do for just a little bit?
Well said.
100%. 100%. All right. Well, that gives us our topic for next week for sure. And I will pull the transcript from this episode so that we got the exact framing of the question that I posed, because I don't remember it off the top of my head.
we can probably have AI go find it with the transcript. All we got to do is take the transcript down and bam.
That's what I said. I'm gonna pull the transcript. Yep.
Well said.
And we're gonna go ahead and extract that and use it as a source for growth. And again, Ronnie, I know that this process is unorthodox to you. It is to me as well, and Earl. Like, and I mean, like, who does this? Like, who builds a company on a podcast?
I haven't watched one, or I wouldn't have had the damn attention span to watch it. Like, I'm out. I gotta go. cut myself right now in the bathroom. Like,
now this is dope, bro. This is like a few different brands that I've seen blown up that would vlog and blog. Hey, this is what I'm doing. Hey, like I know a guy who's a life insurance only guy who blogged everything for 2 years and then took that content and it was dynamite. He went from nothing to making his first $1 million. And he documented the whole thing and then turned it into a course and then sold the course and then built a massive team. And then, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm with it. I'm with it all the way.
A plumber, dude. A plumber during the pandemic was like talking about DIY stuff. And the YouTube channel got so big, he had to sell the plumbing company. Ain't that some crazy stuff? So like, I don't know. I mean, I'm happy to see the focus. So what I want to know is, where do you need help? Like when you get offline and you start, I got an email, a text message me, let me know where you need help. And then I can let you know where I can put some horsepower behind it. And I'm sure Earl will help too. So all of us have a little bit.
It happens on this episode. Like, that's what I'm saying, Ronnie. Like, we put the game plan together on this episode that then transitions into what we do off the episode.
All right, cool. So
that's a bet. So I guess the other actionable thing is the invite for next week's episode.
Oh, we need to add Earl to
put the StreamYard link in there so I could just hop in and we can get cooking.
I think I should be able to do it right now. We don't need to wait for that. Hold on. What's your email address, Earl?
Earl@taxerasers.com.
How did he get in it? Okay, Earl@taxerasers.com. He already got you in here.
I just saw a Google video link, not a link to StreamYard to actually get on the episode.
I'm removing the Google link, and hold on, I'm gonna add it.
And I just now added it into the Google Calendar invite. So Earl, you should have received the email. Well, actually, both of y'all should have received the email letting you know that the invite has been updated.
Hey, I just got an update. Perfect.
I think, in a little bit of time, we'll be able to add you as a team member on StreamYard, so you should be able to log in whichever way you want. I don't use the link in the calendar because I just go through StreamYard and log in. So we can figure that out.
Yeah, and you should be able to log in. I don't know if the StreamYard app allows you to log in that way. I think the app is you can only use it for guest access.
On the computer?
No, on the phone. Because Earl, you on your phone right now, Earl, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I think
I need to add him as a team member, because then you can just log in.
I get that, but what I'm saying is the app, I don't think the app even allows you to log in. I think the app only allows you to access the stream as a guest.
I have never used the link you sent. I've always logged in with StreamYard.
But on your phone, though?
He's on his phone?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Well, that's what I said earlier. I said, are you talking about on your computer?
Yeah. No, he on his phone.
You don't have a way to get in front of a laptop? We need you to
that's what I had last time. That wouldn't work. That's why I got on my phone. I was in my office on my laptop, and it was just it was the Chevy Nova. It was no go. So we'll figure that out.
All right. Cool.
Oh, man. All right. So again, and this is interesting because with all of my clients, we end up talking about some of the same things, which today we were talking about how we are we're building the plane as we flying it, because that's generally what my line of work is. And this endeavor is no different. We are literally building this plane while it's in the air, while it's continuing to go up. So it's a beautiful process. Essence, thank you so much for continuing to support, to continue to follow the conversations that we having. It is definitely greatly appreciated, Miss Lady.
Make sure you get her number from me so you can call her. She wants to talk to you.
For sure, for sure. And that extends to all of the folks that have invested into following the conversations that we're having about building a digital brand and authority. Because when we think about all of the things that are going on in the world, again, you know, they could be anywhere in the world. They're not. Right here.
On the Authority Hour.
And we appreciate you. It's been another episode.
Everybody. Earl said, I'm out. Earl dip.